The other day I had a patient and I had to give him another appointment. So I said, when can he come? And the mother said he has karate in the morning, then he has tuition class, then the class. I was just thinking, is this overparenting or, getting your desires solved through your child?
More than overparenting, I would say over-ambitious. The parents are over-ambitious for the child, and probably somewhere in the subconscious they are trying to fulfill an achievement which they never could achieve. Probably because they never had the opportunities or the scope to achieve their ambitions. The scope was less when they were children. The opportunities were less, the facilities were less. Today, the scope is there, the opportunity is there, the facilities are there, and the income is there. So parents feel that, chalo, jo hum nahi kar sake, hamara bachcha kare. So I think it is over-ambitiousness of the parents that makes them push their child into doing things which they want to do, perhaps the child doesn't want. And it could be both. The child also wants to do and the parents are supplementing the desire of the child. It could be either way.
So what do you define as overparenting?
Overparenting is specific. Micromanagement, as some people would like to call it. Every small thing, you want to be sure that the child is doing it the way you think it is right. Now, there is a big danger in this. Somebody would say that it is pampering, and somebody would say that you are not allowing the child to find his own bearings. You're not allowing the child to bloom in his natural strengths. For example, ordinary thing like crossing a street on a heavily crowded time of the day. A lot of motor cars, a lot of carts and a lot of people walking on the road, and then you don't want your child to attempt going in that chaos. But if you don't allow the child to go in that chaos, the child will not develop his own mechanism of judgment on how to navigate through that chaotic street. So you have hampered his growth in developing certain judgmental or motor skills, as you would call them, navigating through chaos. Or suppose he gets reprimanded in school by his teacher. Immediately the parents rush to the principal and parent teachers association. They raise the issue and says, how dare the teacher scold my child? You are overprotecting your child and making him incapable of facing resistances, oppositions, and also corrections, which is even more dangerous. That when you are taking an objection against a teacher, so many negative things are happening. You are teaching disrespect. Guru 𝗕𝗶𝗵𝗲. You used to say Guru is akin to God, because Guru is the step to reach God. Here you are teaching your child कि Guru को काटो उधर. Guru ने कुछ भी तुमको बोला तो don't tolerate it. You are supporting that feeling to develop. So disrespect is being generated when you rush to the school if a teacher has scolded or even beaten your child. Interfering in what to study, what not to study, when to study, how much to study, which classes to go, what extracurricular skills to develop, everything is micromanaged by the parent. Where is the scope for the child to evolve and discover his own strengths and weaknesses? Everything is being structured. Now, wherever there is a structure, you can only arrive at some scientific conclusions in structures. The art doesn't cultivate. And you must remember that understanding life is a science, but practicing life is an art.
Yeah.
Art and science go hand in hand. So if you are going to be very scientific about everything, then you are not allowing the life to blossom as an art form. Then you are making the life of that child mechanical and uninteresting. And such children grow up to be emotionally depleted.
they also grow up to be very entitled sometimes because everything is managed by the parents?
That depends on resources. If the parents are affluent and they can afford things, then the child feels that he's entitled to everything, because he has never felt the need to slog for something or work for something. Everything was handed to him or her on a platter. So I'm entitled to this. ये तो होना ही था, ये तो मेरा हक है. Like we say, no, janma siddha hak. I'm born, so this is my birthright. So yes, that danger also happens, but every parent is not so affluent. Some parents are middle class, lower middle class. They barely manage to make two ends meet. So there the child understands the reason for, understands the importance of struggle and success. And you will see many of the success stories are scripted in difficulties.
Yes.
People spring up from difficulties because they have had the willpower and the energy to put in that struggle and overcome the difficult situation. So you will see a lot of children springing up from difficult backgrounds and excelling in their fields. You will see that in sports, stark examples of coming from rank poverty and becoming national icons. Yeah. You will see that in the field of education also, that you don't have resources to even go to a decent school, coming from a municipal school and yet climbing up the ladders and becoming stalwarts in academics. So challenge is an important step in every child's life if he has to succeed. And the biggest problem with overparenting is you are stunting your child's growth.
So how does one understand that he or she is overparenting?
How much of your time is getting occupied in your child's activities? That is a good indicator. If you are constantly thinking of your child from morning till evening, कि आज बच्चे ने अभी क्या किया, होमवर्क किया क्या, खाना बराबर खाया क्या, क्लासेस को गया क्या, क्लासेस में क्या सिखाया. If you are going to meddle in everything that the child is doing from morning till evening, you are obviously overparenting. This is a clear indicator that you are overparenting. Have you reserved time for yourself? Have you reserved time for whatever you do, whether you're a housewife or you're a working parent? Have you reserved time for the other child that you may be having? Or if you have only one child, then have you reserved time for your spouse? Have you reserved time for the society? If you find that you have been devoting time proportionately to all these activities which form your life, and your life is not centered around your child, then you are not overparenting. That's a clear indication. But if everything is centered around your child, pura din subah se sham tak I am child oriented, then obviously you are overparenting.
So isn't what all you said parenting?
Yes, it is. But parenting in excess, everything is parenting. Anything you do with your child is parenting. But are you doing it excessively and obsessively? That is the question. When you say over-parenting, you're obsessed about your child. And therefore you call it over-parenting, which doesn't give the child the room. See, time and space are two important aspects in any human being's life. And these two features we don't pay enough attention to. Your child needs space, and your child needs his time or her time to evolve. If you are going to meddle in the child's space and time, then you are restricting both. These are natural free resources, space and time, in which you have to bloom. If you are going to draw the boundaries, where is the scope to bloom? So you have restricted your child in the boundaries defined by you. You may think your boundary is this big, but for the child the boundary is this much, because your knowledge of the universe, your knowledge of the world, your knowledge of life is according to your upbringing. And therefore it is restrictive. But if you leave the child free, he can probably expand the boundaries. You have restricted his boundaries by, as you said, parenting, and as I say, over-parenting.
So this term called quality time with the child, it should be quality time, or?
It's like celebrating Mother's Day and Father's Day once a year. This is typical. I mean, every day is Mother's Day and every day is Father's Day and every day is quality time. How can you say अभी 5 से 7 मैं तेरे साथ बैठूंगी, हाँ अब ये अपना क्वालिटी टाइम होगा? It is completely silly. मैं मूड में नहीं हूँ, मेरा टीवी का प्रोग्राम चल रहा है, तू क्या मेरे साथ 5 से 7 बैठने वाली? काय का क्वालिटी टाइम? You have destroyed the quality of my time. अच्छा विराट कोहली का बैटिंग देख रहा हूँ, बीच में आके अभी मैं तेरे साथ क्वालिटी टाइम.
So these are two extremes. So like one mother says, I give all my time, and the other mother says, I give only quality time. So
and both these things are unnatural. जब मुझे जरूरत है तब मुझे तेरा टाइम चाहिए और जब मुझे जरूरत नहीं मुझे छोड़ दे. And identifying this is an art. It cannot be put into science. 5 से 7 बोल दिया तो वो साइंस हो गया. फिर उसमें आर्ट खत्म हो गई. Then you have lost the art of living. Big subject, dicey subject, parenting and over-parenting. But upbringing is crucial. So unless we as adults are balanced about how to deal with our children tomorrow are going to become imbalanced adults, and then you have an imbalanced society, and then you face the ills that you're currently seeing in the society. And this happens in every society, in every era. So understanding these things is an important subject, and that understanding comes with guidance, and sometimes guidance comes from spiritual areas which people don't understand. Spirituality has been relegated into the background. Right understanding comes when you understand that you are a spiritual entity living a human life.